Well, welcome back to Restaurant Review. I'm Bob Bockelman, and it's the beginning of November. We're almost finished hurricane season, hallelujah. And, of course, we're just starting off the wonderful holiday season that we all look forward to finish off the year. So we're pleased, and, of course, we're going to be hopefully bringing you some really neat restaurants at the end of the year and already start lining up for next year. So we got a lot of stuff in store for you. As you know, we bring a musical guest and a new restaurant and its chef on every week. The musical guest, unfortunately, we don't have it live in studio, but this young lady was gracious enough to come in during the summer and record a few songs for us, so that way we would have them to use for the show. Her name is Ashley Beach, and we're going to go ahead and take a listen to our first song, and we'll talk about our restaurant on the way back.
The song is entitled Thank You.
Shine bright with the light from above. You may not know where you're going, you just go with the flow. And everywhere that you're going, you are showing your glory. Tenderness, wisdom, empathy, and insight, honesty and purity, and your belief in me. Grace, thank you for your beauty and your beautiful way. Thank you for today. And every time we play,
Okay, then was Ashley Beach doing Thank You, and we thank her for coming in and giving us some of her renditions, and she'll be back for 2 more songs a little later in the show, so stay tuned. It was a nice melody on that particular one. All right, well, let's do what we do best, and that's introduce to you our new restaurant. This is a brand new restaurant, as we say, on the Avenue on St. Charles. In the 1600 block, 1622 to be exact. And this was one of 2 lovely old homes, original homes that were made into commercial establishments over the years. In fact, the last vendor, proprietor, actually hooked the 2 together to try and make a big restaurant and drinking place. Since I think that was before Katrina, he left out of town, and now 1/2 of the structure has been sold and converted into a beautiful new restaurant. It's not on the corner, but it's second on the corner, and it's called Mia's Balcony, as you can see right there, and it's named after the what we call the owner's daughter. The reason why we call Mia, that's her name, of course, but also the restaurant, as you see, has 3 what we call princess balconies above on the 2nd floor. So there's dining in the main dining room, upstairs on the 2nd floor, which was a former apartment converted to overflow or special dining, and as you see there, a magnificent deck. How more appropriate for this great weather we're having, and of course for Mardi Gras Day being right on the Avenue. All right, well, let's get into the details of the restaurant and specifically the food, and we're pleased to bring you the executive chef. He's a young and upcoming chef by the name of Timothy HOLT. Timothy, welcome to the show.
Hello, Bob. How you doing today?
Appreciate you coming on board. Now, tell us a little bit. The important thing, I was so glad to hear that you are a native. Is that right? Tell us a little bit about your background.
Okay. I am a native to Louisiana. I was born in Alexandria, Central Louisiana.
Okay.
And I came to New Orleans when I was about 6. My mother, she was married to her husband out of Avondale, Louisiana, on the West Bank.
Oh, okay.
And so we've been here since then. I'm now 33. I'm a proud father of 3, and I'm married.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
So,
you didn't look that old, my goodness. Kept busy early on.
Thank you very much.
All right, well, now tell us, that brings you here, and from a great little town, Alexandria. We used to love the Bentley Hotel up there, and it's a shame it was renovated many years ago, very popular, now closed back down during the recession a few years ago. But unfortunately, Alexandria is not known for its food, so we're glad you came here so you could really fine-tune your culinary skills. And why don't you tell us a little bit about what motivated you in becoming a chef or interested in the food business?
Okay, I believe my first job, I worked at a smokehouse.
All right.
I learned how to smoke all different types of meats and briskets and turkeys and pork butts and different things like that. So I had an extensive training in the kitchen over there, working with the smokers. And I did that for a couple of years, and I actually traveled from state to state helping them open up restaurants, training their line cooks, training their pitmen. The pitman is the guy who actually was responsible for the smoking of the meats and making sure the pit stayed smoked. And so I was responsible for that for a while and training the cooks. And after that, I moved on to a couple local restaurants on the West Bank and on the East Bank, and I trained under a couple of New Orleans native chefs. I believe Chef Leon was one of those great chefs that's still here in the city.
Sure.
And I did a lot of work, and basically I became a trainer. Okay. And I started training different chefs and different linemen across the states, and pretty much got my experience traveling and working under different chefs around the country.
And this is your first chance of taking not only that training experience, but also your culinary experience and putting it together and running the chef's kitchen for Mia's Balcony. Is that correct?
Well, that's close to correct. For the last 10 years or so, I've been running the operations of a small family operated business on the West Bank.
All right.
And
that's good. But the important thing is here we're moving to the East Bank, and hopefully you're going to see a lot more visibility as opposed to perhaps on the West Bank.
Because location was one of those factors that played an important part in the success of the place.
Okay. Great. Well, now let's tell the folks a little bit about the particulars. Mia's Balcony is a brand new restaurant, folks. Been open how many weeks now, please?
Actually, we've been open about 3 weeks now.
Excellent, excellent. As we know, we try and get in there with the restaurant and also our dining club as soon as possible so that our diners and our viewers can be up to snuff, because we know how important the restaurant business and the restaurant profile is to our citizens. All right, now let's talk about, as we mentioned, it's 1622. How many, do you know approximately how many do you seat in the dining rooms and also out on the deck?
Well, downstairs dining, we seat about 45 to 55 downstairs dining inside.
Okay.
And then we seat an additional 35 to 40 people outside on the patio.
All
As
right.
you can see there on the picture, that's inside dining.
So it's great.
We have a full bar, which seats an additional 12 to 15 people.
Okay. So you can eat at the bar. A lot of single diners love to do that, especially after work. But we're seeing some pictures for the folks. Now let's talk about specifics. The important thing is, first of all, what day are you closed?
We're never closed. We're open 7 days a week, Bob.
7 days a week, folks. Well, that's important on the avenue, not only for our natives, but also for our tourists. So you're open for lunch. By what time do you normally open? Give or take a little bit, about 11, 11:30, 12?
Yes, sir. We open up at 11 a.m. Daily.
And now you go straight through, or do you have a break-off time for lunch?
We have no breaks. We go straight through to 2 a.m. Yes, sir.
Wow, 2 a.m. That's phenomenal. Well, I know it's going to be that busy once you get past during the holidays, and of course all the way through Mardi Gras. I think you might slack back a little bit on the weekday on those times a little later as the crowd dims down to its normal self. All right, well, we're really glad to hear, and it is 1622. And a lot of people worry about parking, but I know in the evening certainly it shouldn't be a problem because there's a lot of metered parking on the street. You all do have a small lot, is that right?
Yes, sir. We have ample amount of parking for those to fill the downstairs dining area on the side streets and also in front of the restaurant.
All right, great. So again, the only problem, folks, is during the weekday we do have the meter, so it'll cost you a few bucks. Now, some of the side streets don't, so if you have a chance, don't immediately look for a space right in front of the restaurant, but try the side streets, because I think you're going to find within a very short walking distance free parking, which we all love, whether it's day or night, as long as it's available. All right, now, the uniqueness of this restaurant, as some of the folks have been seeing with our last restaurants, is that the trend has been this year, locally, to move towards small plates. Originally, we called that tapas, but that really is resigned to the Spanish-type restaurant. But small plates is one from a health mode, whereby we theoretically are downsizing our intake, and two, from just the pleasure and the look and the variety that small plates restaurants offer. However, the owners of this restaurant put a real tax on Timothy here, because it is a combination of small plates and large plates. So if you're a hefty diner or just don't find anything among the small plates you like, you've got full course entrees. So they're out here to cover all taste, everyone's taste, so that's great. But what we're going to do now is actually focus. We're going to usually run around 12 pictures. Today, we're going to give you a lot more visibility of dishes because of the advantage and the combination of both small plates and the large plates. So we're going to see some from each to let you understand how broad the scope of the menu is. Of course, we always want to start off with, before we do that, our CI directors put up our phone numbers, standard 2 phone numbers every week we're on. Don't hesitate to give a call. Myself or Timothy would be happy to answer any question about the restaurant or the show or anything you'd be concerned about. So give us a call during the show. We'd love to talk and hear from you. Anyway, as I was saying, we want to go ahead and start with the first picture. New Orleans is, I always judge New Orleans by bread. A lot of restaurants today are cutting out bread, and even though maybe that's better for the waistline, to me it leaves a big hole in the dieter's palate. Here we have an interesting combination, and it's a small serving of cornbread. Cornbread mini muffins, I'll call them. Let's take a look. Tell us a little bit about this, Timothy, please.
Well, here you have our standard, what meets you at the table as you sit. We have 2 corn muffins here with roasted peppers in the inside, and on the side, in a small ramekin, we have a honey cinnamon butter.
Okay.
And the honey cinnamon butter actually keeps this muffin moist and keep it with a fresh taste to it.
Adds a tremendous sweetness to it, so you may or may not like. Cinnamon flavor is excellent, very unusual, so I think you'll certainly enjoy that. Certainly give it a try if you're a Puritan and just want that cornbread taste. I'm sure if you want plain butter, they can get that for you, or you can eat it plain without the butter. So again, this is just something to whet your appetite while you're going through the menu. Now let's take a look at probably our first appetizer, I think, and we'll go from there. Let's see what we have up. Okay. This is a great dish because this is part of the small plates, but you can also get some of these as a sides. And what this looks like is soup and rice. Well, it's not that at all. This is a couscous, which we're going to let Timothy talk about, as well as a vegetable soup. Excuse me, not a vegetable soup, a vegetable stew that's served with it. We're showing how it's served, but we're going to also show how you combine the two. As Timothy talks, we'll show you the different steps, individual of each piece, and what it looks like when you put the whole thing together. So tell us a little bit about your couscous and then about the stew that accompanies it.
Okay, well, couscous, a lot of people, especially from New Orleans, aren't familiar with couscous. But couscous is an inspired Mediterranean dish. It's almost like an oatmeal or almost like a rice or a pasta. And what it's used here for, what we use it for, is similar to like what a rice would be inside of our vegetable stew.
Okay, and let's talk about the vegetable stew a little bit. Now, what is your ingredients in your vegetable stew? Obviously, it must be vegetables.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what kind of stock base are you using, etc.?
Well, how we start here, we use a homemade chicken base, and all of our items on our menu, all of our plates and dishes on our menu, we try to use all fresh ingredients. So in our vegetables, we use fresh tomatoes, no canned tomatoes. We use fresh everything, fresh onions, fresh bell peppers, fresh everything inside of this. Yes, sir.
Okay, and like I said, folks, I think if we go to our next photo, you're going to see what it looks like when you put the two together. You can, if you're a Puritan and want to eat it separate, that is no problem. But look how tempting that is when you take some of the couscous, or all of the couscous, that I like to do, and plop it into your bowl for your dining. So this is the way it surely should be appreciated, and that way it's putting all those good flavors. And here in New Orleans, you know, we love gravies, we love stews with rice. Here's a great lighter alternative, but still full of flavor and really, really nice. Okay, so we're glad to see that. So you can order that as a side or on the small plate menu. All right, let's take a look at another. I think we have another small plate for you, and we'll go see what we got. This is a fun dish. I believe they call them chicken spirals. He's going to tell you more detail about it, but this is an appetizer, and you can see that, or the small plate portion is certainly more than enough for one and for several diners with you. Tell us a little bit about these chicken spirals besides the great look on them.
Okay, right here we have our chicken and spinach spirals. This is for the safe eater. Those who want to stay safe with something like a fresh produce, like a spinach, sauteed spinach, as you can see is the bed, what the chicken is sitting on. And what we do, we take a white meat chicken breast and we stuff it with spinach and we par bake it. And once that's done, we take and cut it into spirals or wheels and we put them on the grill. After we've grilled them and mounted them onto that bed of spinach, we make a homemade Alfredo sauce. That's the topping, that's the white cream that you see.
Yeah, so Alfredo on top, okay?
Yes, sir.
I don't believe it's as heavy as some of the Alfredos that, again, in the old days, Alfredo was so thick you could cut it with a knife. So I think we've toned it down a little bit, so it's got the flavor, but it's not that really heavy concentration on it.
Absolutely, that's what we tried to work for.
And as you see, it's almost like sushi rolls, so with the spirals, and you got, what, 2, 4, 6. So certainly enough for at least 2 diners, if not 3. So this would be a great way to start at your table or as an entree for yourself in a small plate menu. Now we have some more small plates, I believe. Let's take a look and go from there. All right, now this is really part of the salad. I think we jumped ahead, and that was our fault in putting the food. This is actually called, it's got a beautiful selection of salads for all of us nowadays with the weather changing and for our health. And this is he calls it a caprese salad. So let's tell us what you mean by a caprese salad.
Okay, on your traditional New Orleans caprese salad, you come with tomatoes, come with roasted garlic, and it also comes with a mozzarella cheese over the top, a buffalo mozzarella. What we do here, we kind of put a twist on it. We make a roasted tomato where we take our tomatoes and we roast them off with our mozzarella cheese. We take our garlic cloves and we roast those also, and we would lace them with a bed of fresh spring mix, and then we top them off with a balsamic and a paprika olive oil, which gives it a unique flavor.
Okay. So again, that's one of the salads that can be bought, and again on a small plate or on the entree. All right, let's see if we can move back in. I think we still have a few more small plates for you before we, if not, we'll go right into the salad. Here's some more. Again, it can be whether it's an appetizer or a small plate entree. And this looks what I think it is. It's scallops. Tell us about these great looking scallops.
Absolutely. We have right here, we have baked scallops on the half shell. Okay, what you see here, first we start off with 3 full-size, nice $1 size scallops, and we pan sear them in a fresh white wine and butter sauce with minced garlic. And once we do that, we top them off with a panko breading, and we oven roast them for 5 to 10 minutes, just until that scallop becomes fully cooked.
Okay, great. And notice he said panko crust for folks. Those who've been in the food scene, have been eating out for quite some time, knows the influence of that Japanese ingredient with regard to frying, deep frying, or even sauteing. It's a much lighter flour. It doesn't have that heaviness. It's usually transparent so you can see the dish below, but it's a very, very soft type of flour that really adds a lot to the taste. Okay, and I think we still might have another small plates because we've got quite a variety. This has been taboo for most of the summer folks, and we're hoping that this is going to be, hoping it's a mainstay. Maybe you can tell us to verify, make sure that we got some oysters here, guys. You know, we love oysters here in New Orleans. Tell us what the dish is, and then more importantly, let's reassure our audience that you're going to be able to maintain the oysters for when they come in.
Absolutely, absolutely. Right here what we have is our oyster Orleans. Basically, it's an oyster Rockefeller, all broken down for you. We start out with 4 charbroiled oysters, prepared a traditional New Orleans style on an open charbroiler with Parmesan and minced garlic, and we chop up a little bacon and put in there. Okay, after that, in the center there, as you can see, we have a sauteed spinach. This is where our oyster Rockefeller comes in. And over the top of the sauteed spinach, as you can see, we have a chopped artichoke there. What we do, we charbroil the oysters, top them off with the spinach and the artichoke, and hit them off with a nice cream cheese sauce, and then we put them in our broiler and we roast them for about 5 to 7 minutes until they're nice and golden brown, and it's a very good dish. Actually, this is one of our #1 sellers since we've been open.
And can you guarantee the folks you're going to be able to maintain that oyster flow?
Absolutely, absolutely. We will be able to maintain the oyster flow.
You know, people come down and they're upset. They come in and have it one time and don't have it. I think with the return to the oysters of our city, hopefully our Gulf Coast is going to be able to continue that supply. As you notice, folks, the phone numbers are in case you want to call and speak to either myself or Timothy Holt about this great new restaurant, Mia's Balcony, at 1622 St. Charles. All right, now we got a couple more. We got a lovely selection of small plates. That's what I'm saying. Today you can make a whole meal from small plates as opposed to the large plates, or you can use them in some combination for appetizers as well as the entrees. So I think we've got 2 more to show you, and this is one of my favorites. In fact, I'm going to be having this tonight again. And this is his stuffed eggplant. So seafood stuffed, I think, if I remember correctly. Let's go ahead and tell them about this really attractive dish.
Okay, this is for the healthy eaters who love seafood. Again, we start out with our panko breadcrumbs. Oh my! We start out with our panko breadcrumbs.
Go ahead.
And we deep fry that half of eggplant, and we stuff it with a seafood stuffing, seafood crab and shrimp stuffing.
So we got crab and shrimp in the seafood?
Absolutely.
Anything else? Any other seafood? That's it? Crab and shrimp?
Crab, meat, and shrimp, yes,
Okay, good. Again, what do you do with the stuffing then?
Okay, we take the stuffing, we bake it off, and we stuff it in our eggplant, and we serve it up to you.
Now notice, folks, the eggplant doesn't look like eggplant because, once again, it's fried. He's talking about healthy. This part might not be so healthy, but he has, once again, used the panko bread crust and fried it up so that it makes a wonderful little nest. As you see, it's a beautiful holder and edible. So, you know, if you can eat fried foods, I make exceptions on something like this because it's so tasty, and again, because the panko breadcrumbs are so light. Okay, and I think we have one more, if I remember correctly, small plate that also is on the entree, the large plate, so you can eat it either way, just the volume of the serving. And I believe that's something really kind of cool at this restaurant called mint lollipops, lamb lollipops. Let's take a look and see if we got that up on the screen. Okay. No. There we go. Okay, as you notice, we got a few, and I understand that for the picture we've got 3. Normally, if you order this on the small plate menu, you would only get 2 of the lollipops. The entree, you get 4. So we just got you in between here, served with a lovely hummus. Now, tell us about your mint lollipops and also about the wonderful traditional hummus you have here.
Okay, we have a homemade hummus that we serve, that's prepared in house, and it's topped with a chickpea and a pepper medley and olive oil.
Now, the red and the greens. Tell us about the toppings, because I know that's very unique. I know the person who prepares this very traditional way, but those little seasonings, you know, on the top, the chilies and all,
yes.
The difference. So a lot of hummus is very plain, maybe a little flavor, garlic or whatever, but this. The top things really put a spike to it, like we like in New Orleans. Is that correct? You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Actually, that's exactly what they do. The red is a chili pepper, a red chili pepper, and the green is a bell pepper with chilies in it. Okay. So mix them all together with the chickpeas and the hummus. You have a nice Cajun spice to a hummus that you're not going to expect, but it's going to be a delight to your palate.
Really a great twist. Okay. Now tell us about these great lollipops, the lamb lollipops, mint lamb lollipops. Let's talk about that, because you see, folks, you don't need this food, you don't need any forks and knives. You can just grab it by the stick and eat it like a lollipop. It's great. Then if you're really nice, if you don't want to use the pita bread that comes with it, you can dip it in the hummus and really gets a new flavor. But tell us how you prepare the lollipops, please.
Okay, our mint demi lamb lollipops, this is one of our better sellers at the restaurant since we've been open also. It's actually almost like a 2-day process to prepare these lamb lollipops. What we do, we skin all of the fat off the lamb, and we use that fat to make a stock, to make a demi-glace.
Right.
And what we do, we take that lamb fat, we boil it down with carrots and celery and onions.
Vegetables, huh?
Yes, we boil it down for maybe about 2 hours until it creates a nice syrupy sauce.
Right.
And after that, what we do, we take a fresh mint and we mix with the sauce and saute it, and that's what we use to baste our lamb as we grill it.
Okay. Really great. And as we said, folks, you'll see this on the small plate menu as well as the entrees. You'll just get a larger portion. Now, we've got a few more things on these small plates, but because we've got so much to show you today, we're going to go ahead and skip it. If we have more time before we go back to the musician, then we'll pitch the rest of the small plates so you'll know the whole menu. Unfortunately, through a technical glitch of my own, we also have soups, 2 great soups. They have a soup du jour as well as a standard soup that is a throwback to New Orleans cooking, and we're glad to see the return. So we're going to talk about them real quick. There we go. I think, is that it? Or is that the soup?
Yes, that's our turtle soup.
Yeah, we found them. My mistake. So this is, when I was growing up at every French restaurant, maison, you always had a wonderful turtle soup. And tell us a little bit about what's so important today about your turtle soup.
Well, the thing about my turtle soup is, first of all, it is inspired by Alex Patou, a French cook from a while ago, and we use actual real turtle meat in this soup, opposed to other businesses
that don't use
a
lot of these places. We have some people rave about St. Louis and Kansas having turtle soup, and it's what I call faux turtle. In the old days, they called it mock turtle, but that's when they used mushroom. But they're using other pieces. Turtles have 7 pieces of meat, and you can taste the difference when it's really turtle soup. So it's served not only, as you see this, with the real turtle meat in it, but also traditionally on the side for those who wish to really jazz it up. I think we have another picture, hopefully, of, you can get a little shot of sherry there. No, okay. We do have it's served with a little carafe of sherry for you to pour into your desired level. Again, that is so New Orleans, folks. That's the way it used to be in my days, and I know I'm old. But at the same time, when you taste this, you're really going to see the difference on some of the other contemporary turtles that aren't really using turtle meat. Okay, now, we do have a slew of salads, as we mentioned earlier. We had one on a plate, caprese, but now we're going to see a slew of 4 or 5 different salads that go from just your traditional house salad all the way up to really a magnificent entree salad. So let's take a look at our first one, and we'll talk about that. Oh, no, we do have our soup. I thought we didn't have the picture. I apologize saying we don't. As we said, this is one of the other standard soups, even though it's served as a soup du jour, and that is a wonderful old cream of asparagus. Now, it's again an old line soup, but it's jazzed up a little bit. Timothy, tell us how you jazz up your cream of asparagus soup.
All right, our cream of asparagus soup is a pretty good soup on our menu. We have a nice helping, a dollop of lump crab meat that brings this dish out.
Thinking a little bit, it's so heavy.
Absolutely, yes, sir. And our crab meat is so fresh that if today's Wednesday, the crabs were swimming on Monday.
All right. And you also put a little bit of a dollop of cream fresh, didn't you?
Absolutely, yes, sir.
Okay.
To bring a certain
we have
creaminess.
to pardon that photograph. As you notice, a lot of our photographs, we made the mistake, even though it was a pleasurable enjoyment, we actually ate one of our meals out on the deck. So beautiful. But unfortunately, the summer sun, because of the magnificent oak trees on the avenue, shaded and caused the distortion of the picture. So I hope you'll understand and forgive my photography. But it's a great tasting soup. We're having it again tonight, and we'll tell you about that later. But you can ask for this because he's going to have it. It's so popular, standardly on the menu, as well as some other soup du jours. Okay, once again, we're going to try and take a look at the salads. And we've got our chef here, Timothy HOLT of Mia's Balcony, and he's doing a darn good job of helping us out, explain all these pictures. So let's take a look at our first salad. Okay, this is a salad that we're offering again tonight, but is available every day. Tell us about this particular salad.
Okay, right here we have our pear and crab meat salad. Okay, well, we start off here. We take a half an avocado, the whole avocado, and we cut it in half and we grill it.
Okay, you grill it?
Yes, we grill it. Well, that way we soften up that avocado. We bring it up to a full ripeness. Okay. We grill it with an olive oil base on it, staying on the healthy side since it is a salad. It's over a bed of spinach and fresh spring mix, a mixture of the both. And over the top, you see lump crab meat. We saute a lump crab meat in a butter wine sauce, and we do a little our own specific, particular spices, and it has a great flavor to it. And we stuff that avocado with the crab meat, and then over the top, the darkness that you see, we do a balsamic. We do a balsamic glaze that goes great with the crab meat, great with the avocado, great with the spinach. It's an awesome flavor.
You're going to see these same ingredients used in their super signature salad at the end in a minute, but this is a different version of it. It's a different combination and a different flavor. Take my word for it. But let's look at another one. Now, here's another tradition that we all have, and that's shrimp remoulade. Now, shrimp remoulade started as an appetizer, not as a salad, but these folks are showing it as a full salad, so what a great combo. Tell us a little bit about this as we move forward to our salad selection.
Yes, our shrimp remoulade salad here, it comes with our traditional egg and red onion and our traditional tomato.
Now, let's talk a little bit about all those traditions. Let's talk most importantly about the shrimp remoulade, the sauce. How does your sauce taste with regard? Because there are different versions of shrimp remoulade, as we all know. There's the really traditional is a horseradish tart sauce. The more cosmopolitan way is a heavy mayonnaise, almost so sweet that it's nauseating, and there's in between. So tell us where about you stand on that particular.
Well, we're not nauseating. That's number one. Our remoulade salad dressing is homemade. It's made in-house, and it is a mayo base, but it has a great flavor with a horseradish. Yes, sir.
So you don't go to the full level of sweetness. It's somewhere in between. I think it's the best place to be. All right, now let's move on. Now, even the house salad is dressed up for you folks. Again, you'll see it's a smaller portion, but if you have a house salad, one of your entrees, or as a side salad, take a look at this, and you'll see it's the basics, but they add a little bit more to it. So that's the key. Let's see if we can bring that one up. Sorry, out of my fault. This is really another classic, the traditional Caesar. And what's really good about this one, I'm going to let him give you a little detail, is Notice those things that are etched on top. So tell us about your Caesar.
Okay, our Caesar, we start out with a classic Caesar salad with our shredded Parmesan cheese and romaine lettuce and fresh homemade croutons. And we also toss it in our homemade royal Caesar dressing. And then we top it off with anchovies, which makes it, that New Orleans traditional Caesar salad.
So folks, if you don't have some friends that don't like it, make sure you tell them hold the anchovies or put it on the side or put it on one of the other diners at your tables, add it to theirs, because to me it's the final touch, but I know a lot of folks it's a little overboard, but this, folks, is the way it should be served. Okay, let's quickly look. We're running down time. We haven't got to the entrees. Let's look at that house salad. We're going to briefly talk about that, and then more significantly, there you go, as we mentioned, see it's got some nice purple onions, beautiful little mix, spring mix, so even the house salad is a little bit above board. But let's look at that signature salad, which is called, I believe it's called AAA. I don't know what it's got to do with the American Automobile Association or what, but let's talk about that AAA salad. Let's take a look. We got a couple of pictures of that. Go ahead, Timothy. Start talking.
Okay, actually, it's called our AAA salad. It's going green. It's with asparagus, artichoke, and avocado slices, and it's topped in our house dressing that we make in-house.
Go ahead. Let's go ahead. I know we haven't had the picture yet, but let's go ahead and talk about it.
Okay,
are we going to get a picture? Don't know. There we go. Take a look at that beauty. Okay, now let's start over again, Timothy. So,
okay, as you can see, we have our fresh asparagus, and all our produce is fresh, and it's delivered
we already talked about that. Let's go ahead. What else is in the dish?
Okay, we have asparagus tips, we have artichoke tips, and as you can see over the top, we have avocado wedges there, and it's tossed in our house dressing, and it's an excellent taste.
What type of dressing is your house dressing?
Our house dressing, we make it's called a chimichurri, if you're familiar with it.
Well, that's a Mexican dressing. How hot is chimichurri?
It's not hot at all. It's not hot at all. We leave all of the flavor out, even though we do add red crushed peppers.
Okay. Now, one thing that's missing on here, but I think you said you do, certainly if someone asks for it, is to add the lump crab meat to make it similar to the first.
Sir, absolutely.
That'll bring it to the final version, folks, is to add the lump crab meat to that. Okay, now we've skimmed through those salads. Like I say, he's got a slew of them, so it's going to be a salad lover's delight. Now we're going to look at some of the large plate entrees, because we got less than 5 minutes before our songbird comes back on, and we got to touch the rest of our picks. So let's take a look at our first entree. We'll skip this. This is the wonderful pita bread. They have both wheat and plain, served with that hummus whenever you order hummus, or you can order this as a side. Let's move on quickly to the next one, please. We only have 3 minutes. Can we go into the entree pictures? Okay. All right. The lunchtime sandwiches. Quickly tell us about the sandwich.
This right here will be our bourbon grilled chicken marinated chicken sandwich with sauteed mushrooms, bacon, and Swiss on lettuce and a toasted focaccia loaf.
Okay.
It's an excellent sandwich. Yes, sir.
All right. Let's move on. And there's numerous sandwiches that are on the luncheon menu that are not included on the dinner menu. But let's look at the entrees for the dinner. And here's our first one, the great salmon dish. Tell us about the salmon.
Okay, this dish right here is a seafood stuffed salmon spiral. We actually, and also what you see on there to complement it is roasted Brussels sprouts. Yes, that's
on the
what
side.
that is.
But what is the seafood salmon stuff?
Okay, it's stuffed with a crab meat and shrimp stuffing, similar to the one in the eggplant. Yes, sir. And also, this is a pan-seared item, and it's topped with a zesty white wine sauce.
White wine sauce. And notice we got some beautiful roasted Brussels sprouts on the side.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's move on. So we got a great salmon dish. Let's see what else we've got. If we can bring the next one up. All right. I think the next we've got a combination. Here's another fish for you, redfish, my personal favorite, redfish. Tell us how this one's prepared.
Okay, we take this. This is a baked redfish with pico de gallo. Pico is almost like a salsa, a homemade salsa. And up top you see a yellow rice there and a vegetable medley made with fresh baby vegetables. And we take this dish and we pretty much put it in a foil pack with our pico, and we bake it off in the oven so you get that flavor infused into the fish.
Okay, and a little saffron rice on the side.
Absolutely. Okay,
let's take a look at our next one, because we want to see if there's any, I think we have some meat entrees. Let's see what else we got. Okay, what we have here?
Right here we have our classic, very, very classic dish. This is our veal Oscar. It's a pan-made breast of veals topped with lump crab meat and asparagus and a hollandaise sauce, and it's accompanied with some roasted red potatoes.
New potatoes, beautiful.
Yes, sir.
And I think we have one more before we go to the musician. We only got a minute. Let's see what else we got up there, Mr. Director. See if we got. This is a great chicken. Got to have chicken. Got to have chicken.
Chicken lovers delight. Right here we have a pecan crusted chicken, which is also a pan-seared item with fresh asparagus, grilled lemon zested grilled asparagus, and again our roasted potato wedges. And it's also accompanied by a nice Meuniere sauce, a peanut Meuniere sauce, and it's a great flavor, great safe flavor for the chicken lover.
Okay, I think we did that in record time, Timothy, and I want to tell the folks I'm sorry we had to go so fast, but as we mentioned, we had to get through both small plates and large plates. It's a duo restaurant, dynamic duo, so you can have your choice, whatever you're comfortable. You're a big eater or don't care about the small plates, you go straight to the entrees. Okay, we're going to catch back. Remember, it's Mia's Balcony. Let's go ahead and take a listen and watch Miss Ashley Beach do her second song, and we'll continue with Timothy after the song.
This song is entitled Before You Were Born.
What's this lesson that I need to learn? The next left that I am to turn. What's this lesson that I need to learn? The next left that I am to turn. is taking you far, who is driving the car, who is showing you all of the stars in the sky, and you know it. And who's all you can see when clearly you're me, and you're standing in front of the mirror reflection to show it. Who will spin you around in a spiral of sound, pick you up, throw you down, just because it's this fancy to throw it. And whose heart radiates, so all the spirits and fates will rise up to assist you in guiding the wind, if only you blow it.
That was Ashley Beat. Boy, what a change from the first number, huh? That was kind of like an American flamenco song. I don't know. That was a lot of stuff going on there. Well, me too. So you're going to surprise us one more time at the end of the show with one more song. Meanwhile, let's get back to, I feel so bad we're rushing our guest, but it's just we've got so much to show to you folks, and I hope you'll apologize or you'll understand, accept my apology if we've rushed too quickly, but we want to get all the pictures in and take a look at this great food. As we've said, you can call us if you like. You speak to myself or Timothy Holt. He's the executive chef of Mia's Balcony, 1622 St. Charles, on open 3 weeks. Open every day with dining outdoors, indoors, and lunch through dinner straight on through. Okay, we've finished. We got through world record with regard to the small plates and large plates entrees. We're now going to take a look at a couple of desserts and then try and wrap up the show. So I think the first one is, again, another New Orleans tradition, and that is pecan pie. But folks, if that picture comes up, we'll tell you. Timothy, tell us how yours is unique to the New Orleans scene.
Again, it is a pecan pie, which is a traditional New Orleans delightful dessert. But what I did was I took a twist to it and infused it with coffee. Infused the pecans that it's baked with coffee, and also there's a coffee glaze that goes over the top. I pretty much took that cup of coffee that you would normally drink with that pecan pie and infused it into that pecan pie, so you have a 2-for-1 deal going on right there.
Great. So you see, folks, you don't even need to buy a separate cup of coffee because if you're a coffeeholic like I am, and I know a lot of people are in New Orleans, what a great combination. There's so many types of pecan pies, but usually it's pretty basic, either whether it's dark or light syrup. Here he's gone to the specialty of infusing the pecans that are in there with the alcohol and then also putting some more on top. All right, now there's one other which is also, I think, pretty traditional for New Orleans, and even though most of them would lean toward creme brulee, creme caramel is your basic version without that hard, crisp topping, which, you know, some of us all love, but the extra work. But I think the flavor is the important thing. And let's take a look and tell us about your creme caramel.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. It's pretty much derived from a creme brulee, but we kept it soft here, and it's actually a custard, a soft-served chilled dish, and it's a caramel glaze on it, and it's a delight. It's great for a light eat, something fast-moving, and it's an awesome flavor.
All right. Again, those are right now his standard desserts. He's looking to put some additional ones based on season, as well as the whole menu is looking toward the seasons for changes. So it's even though there's a lot to it, they'll be culling down, seeing what's popular, introducing new things as they change seasons. Now, we do have to ask about beverages. So tell us a little bit about your alcohol and your wine philosophy, please.
Okay, as far as our alcohols go, pretty much our bar is fully stocked. We can serve any mixed drink, any cocktail that you would like from a bartender standpoint. And also our front of the house staffing, Carolyn and Wine, they did a great job with our wine menu. We have a lot of different wines that you're not going to find in your local grocery stores or your neighboring restaurants for that matter.
So you're talking about whites and reds, right?
Whites and reds, okay, yes sir. We have a full array.
Well, we'll be glad to take them up on this. And, of course, you have a full line of teas and coffees and sodas, so it fills the gamut.
Yes.
Okay. Now let's talk about special events. There's one I want to talk about, but I'll defer to you because yours is more important. With the season coming up, you've got an announcement because this is brand new, hot off the press for you folks. Are seen here and heard here only. So tell us about that event that you're going to be doing at your restaurant. Come on.
Well, this is the Thanksgiving season, so we will be open November 25th, 2010. We do have a Thanksgiving menu, which is a 3-course menu. We start out with our cream of asparagus soup topped with crab meat.
Today,
yes, we saw it earlier. It's a great soup. Then we go into our spring mix salad. You can also have it topped with crab meat. Then we have a choice of entrees. We have a prime rib. We have a lamb roast, a stuffed merlaton, and we also have a pan sautéed trout that's going to be on the menu.
So the only thing different is they're not having traditional turkey, folks. So if you have to have turkey, you got to find another restaurant. But he's certainly got contemporary food. So remember that Thanksgiving Day, because you know those last few days right before Thanksgiving, you got company coming in, maybe unexpected or whatever, or something happens and you can't cook. You burn the turkey, anything like that. The importance to know, it's always important to know which restaurants open on the holidays. So certainly for Thanksgiving, hopefully at Christmas time, we'll see that later on, but more importantly, Thanksgiving, he'll be open. So you give them a call because even though it's a large restaurant, they certainly would like to have RSVP so they know how to staff accordingly. All right. The one thing I want to mention, and you've heard me throw out a couple of things today, is as we always do, our New Deal diners are going to be enjoying a wonderful fixed price and also regular menu choice from Mia's Balcony this evening, starting at 6:30 and 7. If any of you out there want to come on out and meet us, there's no problem. We'd love to see you, and you can taste some of these great dishes that you've seen today. If not, those are always on the menu. You can try them any other time. In the interim, I want to tell you about a couple others, so don't forget, if you want to find out any more about it in the New Deal or find out about the show, you can email me. I think we'll get those addresses up for you, Bob at rrreview.com, Bob at rreview.com, or the New Deal website. You can see all the dinners we've been to and where the ones we're going to propose. We've got a great Christmas one coming up. In fact, for our show and restaurant review, we're hoping to have this brand new restaurant in the Bourbon Orleans Hotel, run by Guy Soxider, who was the original chef at Muriel's. So we'll be looking for that and telling you about that later. Lastly, I think that's about it. Is that about the end of the day? Got some other great new restaurants coming up. Sylvain in the French Quarter just opened. We're looking at a new little cafe in the Warehouse District called Carmo. So we're always looking for the restaurants to bring on the show for you, and of course for you to come and taste either on your own or joining with us as the New Deal Diners. So don't forget to take a look at those websites and give us a holler on anything on the restaurant or on the dining club. Okay, till that time, we'll look for you in the restaurants, and let's take a listen and watch for Ashley Beach and her last song. And we'll see you coming.
My next song is entitled Twist.
Is there something that I missed? Holding me back, beats coming up around the bend. Again and again and again. But still, why am I here? Knowing seems only moments away every day, every day. But good vibrations coming round. Still everywhere you can see the sound that both picks you up and knocks you down. Oh my God, look what we've found. Oh, what we found.
I took a trip to Elkhart, Indiana today. Elkhart's a place that has lost jobs faster than anywhere else in America. The people who've lost them have no idea what to do or who to turn to. In fact, local TV stations have started running public service announcements that tell people where to find food banks, even as the food banks don't have enough to meet the demand.
This is Irvin Mayfield. We've been through a lot. Now, it's time to bring New Orleans home. New Era is a partnership between American Sunrise Communities and housing developers, rebuilding the lives of working families. Under New Era, you can buy a 2 or 3 bedroom home for much less than the average New Orleans rent.
Call or visit the American Sunrise Communities website and get the keys to your home.
When a soldier is injured, their whole life can change instantly and profoundly. A nonprofit organization called Salute America's Heroes wants your help to make their recovery easier.
The coalition helped us when I first got home by helping us get our bills paid.
When